My name is Junghae, and I head the Gene Therapy Accelerator unit at Biogen. And I am pleased to talk to you today about Biogen's efforts in gene therapy for neuroscience. This is my disclaimer slide for the presentation. At Biogen, our focus is on developing transformative therapies to treat neurological diseases and disorders. We know neurological diseases are the #1 cause of disability worldwide and the #2 cause of deaths worldwide. There are very high unmet medical needs in these therapeutic areas, and we are driven by a purpose to transform the lives of patients and their caregivers impacted by these diseases. Biogen was founded in 1978, and today we have over 9,000 employees worldwide. Over 100 countries receive our products, and in 2020, our revenues were $13.4 billion. We have one of the largest and broadest neuroscience R&D programs in the industry. Over the past decade, 19% of our annual revenues were invested back into R&D. For example, in 2020 alone, we spent over $2 billion on R&D, and we have over 20,000 patients enrolled in clinical studies. We have over 30 clinical assets in development and dozens of new clinical programs since 2017. Along the bottom of the slide, these are the specific therapeutic areas we have been pursuing recently: MS immunology, neurodegeneration, neuromuscular, ophthalmology, and other adjacent therapeutic areas. So this is the therapeutic area perspective. From the modality perspective, we are pursuing 4 different therapeutic modalities: small molecules, oligonucleotides, therapeutic proteins, and of course, gene therapy. By pursuing a modality agnostic approach, we are able to think carefully about what modality would be best utilized for what target in neuroscience. We're also able to leverage synergies between the modalities and are positioned to offer multiple treatment options to patients impacted by a specific disease. You can see our multimodality approach in the makeup of our preclinical portfolio. Some targets and therapeutic areas are more suitable to tackle with one modality versus another. Through deep understanding of the strengths and weaknesses of each modality, we strive to make therapies that have the greatest probability of success for our patients. We have 16 preclinical gene therapy programs, some of which are in collaborations with external parties. You can see our gene therapy programs span multiple therapeutic areas. To support the growing gene therapy efforts, Biogen set up a new unit called the Gene Therapy Accelerator unit, and this is the group that I lead. Our goal is not just to identify, but to solve the key rate-limiting steps in our technologies, capabilities, and processes to accelerate gene therapy programs through the pipeline. We think a lot about both technology innovation and portfolio delivery when it comes to establishing this new therapeutic modality at Biogen. Technology innovation is self-explanatory and is about increasing the probability of success of our gene therapy programs. Portfolio delivery, on the other hand, is about the systems level innovation that is needed at a company like Biogen to support a new modality. We are building the foundation for gene therapy at Biogen, with specific attention to the 4 gene therapy pillars: capsid, cargo, performance, and production. For each of these pillars, there is a lot of work to do. For example, we need capsids that can deliver better to the CNS, eye, and muscle. These capsids need to have greater potencies so we can inject lower doses. For cargo, some targets may require the use of regulatory elements like cell-specific promoters or perhaps inducible promoters to be safe, or maybe gene editing tools like zinc fingers or CRISPR-Cas are needed. For vector performance, we need to fully characterize the various routes of administration, as well as immunogenicity and safety considerations. And for vector production, we need to increase the overall yield and scalability of our processes. In order to be successful, we believe you can't just focus on one of these pillars. All four pillars have to work together. We are using the engineering design cycle framework to deliver viable solutions to the complex and multidimensional problems in gene therapy. This framework is certainly not new to anyone, but to do this well, and at the scale we are doing it, you need scientific and technical expertise backed by intense and committed resources. Speaking of intense resources, earlier this year, we announced plans to build our internal gene therapy manufacturing facility in North Carolina. Overall, we are excited to leverage our own internal manufacturing know-how to support our rapidly growing gene therapy portfolio. There is a lot of things to consider when building gene therapies. Here is a schematic that captures some of the many aspects that need to come together to support gene therapy discovery. And we know one company cannot do it alone. We need to tap into the external innovation ecosystem to find additional solutions. We truly consider external innovation as an important part of our overall strategy. With this in mind, we signed 9 collaboration deals over the last 2 years. We're always open to talking with external innovators who may have technologies or capabilities that augment and synergize with our internal gene therapy efforts. We have a number of Biogen colleagues attending the meeting on the Mesa this year, so I hope we get the chance to discuss your work. In summary, neuroscience is what we do. We have a robust clinical portfolio testing 4 different therapeutic modalities. I've introduced you to the Gene Therapy Accelerator unit, where we think a lot about tech innovation and portfolio delivery. We are investing heavily in building the foundation for gene therapy around the pillars of capsid, cargo, production, and performance. And finally, we are actively searching for external innovators to work with who feel as passionate as we do in bringing transformative medicines to patients suffering from neurological diseases and disorders. That concludes my talk. So thank you very much for your attention. And I hope we get the chance to learn about your innovations in the near future.